Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this latest Knowledge Hub session at Beauty Tech Live. My name's Dermot Davitt and I'm president of the Moody Davitt Report, your co-host and partner with BW Confidential for this week's event. Now, the latest step in our global journey this week takes us to Brazil, where we're going to look at the tech and digital market in the company of one of the country's largest beauty companies, Grupo Boticário. I'm delighted to welcome Vice President of Digital and Technology, Daniel Knopfholz, who's responsible for leading the company's digital transformation, and Technology Director, Renato Pedigoni, who leads the channels and data architecture teams for the group. So you're very welcome, Daniel and Renato. So to kickstart this session, we're going to have a presentation around the theme of tech and digital learnings from Brazil, focusing on what Grupo Boticário has learned in its own digital journey to date. And we'll follow up with any of your comments and questions at the end. And as always, you can add these through the Q&A button at the bottom of your screens. So Daniel and Renato, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dermot, and everybody, the Beauty Tech event for our invitation here. We're really proud to be here and to share with you our learnings. As you introduced me, my name is Daniel. I am the VP of Technology of Grupo Boticário, and I'll be here with Renato, who will be joining me to talk about our learnings and also what we are building in terms of digitalization of our business. Of course, we were talking before this presentation that there's a curiosity about e-commerce, and everybody is under this because the situation and of course the growing market in the growing channel. And we'll talk about this also, but we think and we believe that not only e-commerce but all the digitalization of the customer journey is important. So we're talking about our beliefs in this way. I will just share my presentation here with you. I think you will now be able to see it. Please just confirm if it's okay. I think it's okay. So I'll be brief. I'll give you a brief overview about Grupo Boticário, just for you to know, Boticário Group or Grupo Boticário in Portuguese, just for you to know. For those who doesn't know, as I think most of the people know about the company in Brazil. And after that, we'll talk about our challenges and what we are doing and what we already did. So just for you to understand, to know. We are a 44 years company. We started as a very small store of prescriptive cosmetics. They were made by receipt by people who would go to doctors, and they would give recommendations. And Miguel, which was the founder, was a pharmacist, and he was manipulating cosmetics to create what the doctors would ask. But after a few years, he realized that there was a huge market, a huge space to explore in the market in Brazil, and his passion was about perfumery also. So he decided to expand the business through cosmetics, perfumery, and makeup, which is our which are our main categories right now in the whole group. And from 1977 to 2010, of course, I'll not go through the whole details, but the fact is that we were only a mono brand with a mono channel, so only one brand with only one channel, which were the stores. We had, of course, e-commerce already it started between 2000, 2002, but it was very, very small and not focus of our strategy. But in 2010 and some years before, but in 2010 we decided to go multi-channel, multi-brand, multi-business. So it was a huge transformation that we did in our strategy. And then we from there, in the last 10 years, as you can see, we decided to improve a lot our business concepts and to create a lot of new opportunities and new products and brands to the market, to the consumer. So we created startups, we did some M&As in the market, And we also have some digital also initiatives that we are doing by ourselves. So here I want to highlight to you the native digital business that we have done or created or acquired in our business, which are MOS, which is in a fintech from our group. Since 2011, we have already an arm of fintech. In 2019, we acquired Beleza na Web, which is the biggest e-commerce, perfumery e-commerce in Brazil, the biggest player. And also, 2 weeks ago, we announced the M&A of GAVB, which is a data consultancy company. So it's very different from what we used to do in the past. That's why we are highlighting here, going through a new way to develop digital experiences to our clients. So we bought a native digital company that works with data. I'll be very brief here in our figures, just for you to know the major figures, but I think the most important is we have 4,000 stores in Brazil from our 10 brands. Actually, one of the brands, which is Boticário, which is a major and the biggest brand. We have around $3 billion revenues. We had this last year, 2020, in around 15 countries, mainly, of course, in Brazil, and involving a great chain of employees and distributors in general. I think one thing to highlight here is that we are now remote first company. What does it mean is that we decided not only right now during the pandemic, but also afterwards, we'll be hiring and working remote every time that we can. So this is not a detail. This is very important for what we are talking here about, is about the digitalization and finding people and finding and learning the way that we believe that the world will behave and people will behave. So we are now also a remote first company in terms of employees and way of working. We have plenty recognitions. I think you may know us. So the most important thing to say here is that our brands are really important and really loved to our clients. Boticário was elected for several years, and last year also the most loved brand in Brazil. 60 million followers in social media. This is everything just to tell you that we are a great company, not because we are huge, but because we always did what you all always also are doing in your companies, that we are doing since 1977. We are doing good products with great quality and delivering what people want. But in terms of digital experience, in terms of channels experience, we think that we could improve. That's what we are creating here. So just for you to see, this is one of our stores, just for you to realize. And starting going deep in dive in terms of, I don't know if you are hearing me. I think I have an unstable connection here. If something happens, please tell me. But we are investing a lot in terms of technology. We always invested a lot in terms of R&D as the whole industry. I think this is not new to anybody. But we are investing a lot also in technology, in terms of digital technology, in terms of IT technology, in terms of what we would consider before a support business, but now we consider our core business, which is technology, digital technology. So 5% of our revenues are reinvested in technology. This is, as you may know, a lot. And of course, as the whole industry, also we have lots of patents and lots of articles published. And to finish this first chapter here, just for you to understand, we decided to try several ways to use technology to achieve our consumers, to get closer to them, to deliver them what they want. And last year or 2 years ago, I think, sorry, it was not last year, but 2 years ago, we created the first perfume in the world, 100% created by artificial intelligence by a computer. So with no human interception during the development, just at the end, just to finish the fragrance. So why did he do this? This is also, of course, this is also interesting to have something new to talk to the market, to the consumer, but also to understand if our algorithms, if our data was able to create and deliver what we really wanted to give is what the customer really is looking for. So we created these fragrances to experience this new way of working also in the CFT products. Well, going to what I think it's most important in this workshop that we are having here is what was the problem? If we are huge, if we are big, if we are a loved brand, or if we have loved brands in general, what we have to do? Then we faced that something that I think most of the companies in terms of industry and even retail may focus that we know the cycle, the customer cycle, the life cycle of the customer, but we are not present, or most of the companies are not present every time in every with quality in every step. So I'll just show you this. So for example, starting as a cycle, we can start everywhere, but as a cycle, I'll start here. The customer is looking for information about beauty, health, self-care. For any reason, this person is looking for information. This person goes and find information online, and maybe not online, in stores also, and reading in blogs or in social media, information posted by companies, by professional, by other customers. So this person needs something and goes to find information. And then after finding information, there is always a listening part or a reading part, but also interaction part. You ask for advice, you want to know, there is so many information that you need to know if you have the correct decisions, if you are doing the correct research, if you have the correct information to make your decision. Then after interacting, after having advice or interchanging with people, professional or not professional, then you find the best brand, the best product, or the best service which will solve your problem or the customer problem. After defining the best brand, product, or service, then you go and you decide the best way to buy. Will you buy online? Will you buy in an app? Will you buy online and finish with a telephone call, or are you going to the store to buy? So you decide the way to buy it. And after you decide the way to buy, you decide the way to pay. You can pay in several ways today, and you decide the best way for you to pay. And then this customer goes and decides the best way to receive the product. What's the most appropriate way to receive? I want to pick up on the store. I want to receive at my house, or I will not be there, so I want you to leave somewhere for me to pick up. And then after picking up or after receiving the product, then I use, or this person use the product, feel the result, and if we are good in what we do and they feel satisfied with the product or the service, and then as it's good, this person decides again to go deeper and to continue the self-care and taking care about beauty and health and etc. And starts over the virtuous circle again. So this is something that everybody knows and everybody does. But what happens usually in our industry is that the traditional companies, they are good where it's green. So they are especially very good in distribution. So you can find the product everywhere, in every channel, in every store. Of course, there are many ways to pay. Especially we have good products. In general, we are we are in an industry that everybody or most of the companies have very good products, and people enjoy to share, to use, and to talk about it. So we are good in the green part that I highlighted here, but this industry was not traditionally good in terms of having good talking to the people, interacting. The advice part in some ways are good, in some ways are not good, depending on the channel. Helping to find the product is not something that this industry, in our opinion, did very good in the past. So creating content before and talking to the consumer, or creating this environment, not only selling products or offering a good quality, is something that we saw that would cause a friction to the consumers in general, especially going deep to Grupo Boticário. We face a special challenge in the industry, because we are not only industry, we are not only retail, we are everything together. We have industry, distribution, retail, and of course purple sales. So I was talking about the customer, but also we have to the digital journey of the reseller, because we have direct sales. We have the digital journey and experience of the franchisee, because we are franchisers. So we have to digitalize also the industry. So when you think about the whole chain altogether, we faced these challenges in a very huge exponential way, because we had to connect everything together. So we have to connect since industry to post sales to make it easier. We are doing this to making this easier to the customer and to our chain. I will give you an example of what we are doing, and then we'll tell you how we are doing this in the next chapter. So this is our ecosystem, or this is a simplified version of our ecosystem, with all the brands that we have, with all the channels that we have, with all the digital products that we have, not all, but some of them, and the content that we produce. So what was traditional is that what was traditional is that we had, for example, the brand Boticário, which was traditionally sold into traditional stores, into our own stores called Boticário, and we had content in Instagram or Facebook or in general about Boticário. The same happened to Eudora. The same happened to all the brands that we have. But since some years ago, for example, Eudora, which is a brand, it was created in 2011. We decided that we would sell Eudora not only through its traditional channel, which is direct sales, but also we could sell these products in pharmacies, which are not our own channels, because the direct sales are it's our own channel. Also stores, it's our own channel. But we would sell in competitors, I could say like this, they were competitors of our products in general, in our website of Eudora's main website, and also in Beleza no Web, which is our multi-brand website. So you can find Eudora also in the same website that you find some other brands which are not part from the group. So when you do this, it's good for the customer, because the person has access to the brand everywhere. But then how do you create that cycle that you can feel, that the person can feel that this person has the content that the person needs, that finds the product that is really the product that will make the difference? How can you put all together and give the best experience to that? So we are doing this with Eudora, I think, and with a lot of brands, but this is one of the most improved brands that we are doing. And we had to connect everything together to make the best experience to the customers. And we are still doing this. This is not still mature, but we are doing this. So in our view, digitalizing the journey is the way to make this person to feel okay and to have the best experience in every channel, in every way, in every contact that this person has with the brand, independent if it's our channel or not, if it's our content or not. But we think that we must be present and helping the journey everywhere. So how do we do this, and what are we doing this? I will invite Renato to explain this in detail for you. So Renato, please join me.
Everyone, so very glad to be here. Moving forward on what Daniel said, that we need to, you can move to the next one, on digitalizing our customer channels, our customer experience. We also need to digitalize the way we work. And for that, we identified 4 things that we needed to change that would be enablers for our digitalization. So the first one is to make decisions based on our customers' needs and feedback, and not only based on business cases that rely on revenue, margins, and other output metrics. This is a simple concept, but it's extremely hard to implement because we need to change basically how we work entirely, but it's the core of our change. And when we are making decisions based on customer needs and feedbacks, it means that it's going to change frequently. So we also need to be able to operate in shorter cycles. In a way that we can expand the ability to react quickly and build new stuff as we get more feedback from our customer base and our stakeholders in the business, such as franchisees, and resellers. And to operate in shorter cycles means that we need to allow experimentation at scale. We cannot have a single team working with innovation and the other teams working at day-to-day operations. We need to have teams that do both. And to make that, we need to have product-based teams instead of project-driven teams. And this is also a big change, because to make that happen, we need to empower those teams with autonomy and end-to-end responsibility. And for this, we need to have tools. We need to have tools that make faster you can get one back just a second, Daniel. We need to give them tools to work with autonomy. We need to align them with strategy. And also we need to have a technical architecture that allows teams work in parallel. And it's also a big change for us, a big change in the way we've always worked. And we're going to share the decisions we have based on those 4 changes for enablers to digitalization. Okay, Daniel, thank you. So for that, we decided to put our efforts, our investments in 5 pillars. The first one is the internalization of digital product teams. So just as we've always done our beauty products internally, and we have teams building that, we're going to also do the same for our digital products development, for our digital channels, and for our digital experience. And then not focus the technical team on service level agreements as it used to be. So it's not more about uptime or systems stability, but actually on results, on customer adoption, on customer NPS, revenue, and growth. We also see a big opportunity working on startups, with startups, and we developed an open innovation program. We're going to go through that. And making all of these changes, we had to hire a lot of people. We're going to go through that as well. And for that, we need to build a brand, an employee brand for talent, for digital talents, and also improve the skills of our internal team. And the last one is we need to change our collaboration tools. As Daniel said, we're now a remote first company, and to work in this way, which was boosted by the pandemic, we need to change also the tools that we use and the kind of the dynamics, the ways of working of our organization. So let's start with the first one, which is the internalization of the digital product teams. As I said, we've always done our beauty products in-house, and this works very well and works also very well for digital products. The first reason is we're going to have teams that are fixed, that have a clear mission, and that learn the business. And as they learn the business more, they're going to be better on what they do, and they're going to be improving at every new cycle. We're talking about having shorter cycles. So at each new cycle that we have, it can be weeks, we're going to have better decisions, better deliveries for our customers. The second reason is that we can have a long-term view for the products that we build. So instead of project-driven, where we know everything, we can start doing smaller and then getting increased, but having always a long-term vision. And our internal teams, by having learned the business and having this long-term view, they can build platforms that will help us be faster in the future and even create new business models. And we did that during the pandemic. We could prove this benefit. And the third one is that we can have an in-place mechanism for customer feedback integrated to the workflow. So for giving an example, our team that work with our mobile development, our mobile apps, all the time that someone writes a review on the App Store, being on Apple or Google Play, this team receives in real-time feedback on them so they can prioritize their backlog according to the fixed feedbacks they receive. So this is basically how we work with physical products. Maybe it's a little bit easier even because it's not a physical product. We can test hypotheses with more flexibility. And we could done this a lot. And if you see our hiring in 2020, went from 7 people in engineering, UX, and UX design and product managers. We hired 242 new people to the team. So the technical teams that creates this experience, these digital products. And in 2021, this year, we already have 139 new employees working in our digital initiatives. We take actually diversity very strictly. It's a very important thing. And our technology team has a number that was below 20% in terms of gender in women in technology. So since the beginning, we set a goal to increase that number. We finished 2020 with 25%. In 2021, we are already in 28. We expect to go to a very high number this year yet. And we have lots of positions, 106 positions open right now and 170 positions approximately for the next coming months. So we are growing a lot. And I'm going to talk about diversity again soon. So let's move to the next one. When we bring this lot of people, so more than 300 new employees working with autonomous teams in shorter cycles, we need to make sure that we are giving them the right incentives. So as I said, technology teams, usually when they're working in a client supplier way inside the company, they always have goals such as system stability, project delivery dates, maturity assessments. But this is not what we expect from them. We're bringing them to deliver a direct value, direct better experience to our customers. So we changed the way we incentivize them. Then we also changed the way we see our metrics, looking for our customer NPS, App Store ratings, customer adoption, monthly activity users. It depends on the team. They have always input metrics related to their part on the journey. And also we have a few output metrics such as revenue and growth to make sure that our teams are delivering value to the business as well. And going back now to partnerships with startups, we see much value in that. We see that they can accelerate our business, and we can also help them accelerate their business with our support. So we created a program called GB Ventures, which is an acceleration program for early stage startups. And we were looking for startups in 3 different verticals. The first one is beauty tech. So beauty products that we do not work now in our categories, or new technologies for beauty products. We're also looking for startups that operate in the retail tech segment. So anything that can bring better experience to our channels. It can be physical stores, it can be our online channels such as e-commerce or marketplace. And the last one is trendsetter, which are companies, startups that are working with really new technologies that can help us accelerate our business or even change our industry. We opened this in the middle of last year. We had almost 140 submissions. We select 13 startups. We can share them there with you. And we're very excited, and we see much value as well. Now we are in the third month, which is the interaction between our executives with the founders and with our experts in the industry. So we can help a lot those companies grow better, and we can also get much value from our interactions with them. Then moving forward to talent attraction and development, this is a big challenge, right? You've seen the numbers we have in hiring for technical and product management teams. It's a kind of professional that after the pandemic got even more disputed and valued, so it's hard to hire these talents. So for that, besides changing the way we work internally, we had to create a brand for them externally, so we could attract those professionals, and we did a lot of that, so we could achieve that numbers. We also built a referral program, so our employees can refer to friends, and so we can bring people that are aligned with our values, and that can raise the bar of our team. But there's a shortage in the market for this kind of professionals. I believe it's worldwide, it's not only in Brazil. And we decided to create a program where we saw the opportunity to bring both acceleration to our growth and actually also contribute to the society. So you can move to the next one. And this program is called the Grupo Boticário, or Boticário Group Desenvolve. Desenvolve means to develop. So it's a way to develop people where we can offer, where we are offering right now, training for developers, for UX designers, and for product managers, for people that are in low income classes and are in underrepresented groups. So to have an idea, our 134 selected students have on average $150 per month of income monthly. So it's a very low number, and we are aiming to multiply that number in 3 to 4 times after we finish the program, so they can get hired at Grupo Boticário, because we have demand for that, but actually in any company. So this is the part where we can give back to the society and increase the number of qualified people in the market. The last one is the evolution of our collaboration tools and ways of working. I'd like to mention a few tools that we started using back in 2020. Danielle, feel free to join me. The first one is Slack. So Slack is a communication tool, most of you may know. And we adopted that in the start of 2020. It changed completely the way we worked in the technology team. We could work more asynchronously. We could have better discussions in group. We avoided a lot of meetings, and now we are scaling for the entire company. Again, we are now a remote-first company, and having tools like that to address the issues of being separate helps a lot. And actually, it helps us to be more productive because we don't have to be on meetings all the time. And when we see that we need to work in a meeting, we need to have a big discussion, we move to other tools such as Miro. So Miro is a whiteboard platform where we can share ideas, discuss, make design thinking sessions. It's a great tool. We're using it a lot to bring and build these channels that we're sharing. We also have another tool, and in this case, it's not much about the tool, it's more about the practice, which is having retrospectives. So I mentioned about having continuous improvement for our products, but we do the same for our teams. So every 2 to 3 weeks, these teams get together and see what went well, what went bad, and what they should improve. And they keep improving themselves in parallel constantly. And we use this tool, Easy Retro, for that. And the last one I'm going to mention is Team Culture. Team Culture is a Brazilian company. I don't know if they operate abroad, but there's also another one that we used before called Office Vibe, which is a tool that we can make pulse service for our employees, and they can send anonymous and non-anonymous feedback on a weekly basis. So this is very important because we're hiring a lot of people, we're making changes the way we work, and we also are in the pandemic, so everyone's being impacted in our business, in our personal life, in our families. So team cultures helps a lot to understand what is happening on the team. And I'm sure that it would be a lot harder to make everything we're doing without a tool like this. So I believe I went through, yeah.
Sorry. Finish your face.
No, I believe that's all about the collaboration tools. We would like to share some learnings, key learnings before we move to the Q&A.
Perfect. As we are finishing here, I know that we need to leave a few minutes, of course, to Q&A. I just want to mention something before the key learnings. We'll be very fast on them, but for you to understand, we believe actually at the end that to e-commerce works, or to the app works, to any digital channel really works. It should be part of the company culture, and not only a channel. We as traditional companies, we know how to do traditional and good product and traditional channel, but we must understand that the new channels, the new ways that they're growing a lot, of course, to everybody, and also to our company, they need to be part of the culture. So that's what we are putting here as our thesis. And to finish our key learnings, I will share two of my major key learnings, and then Renato will share also some of his. I think that as in retail, the great thing about digital experience lies on the details. So retail is detail, everybody says that. Also digital is details. So it's important that everybody sees digital not as a tool, but as a way of experience and work. This is very different, and people will realize that the company is not putting only tools, but also experience at the offers. And of course, this is easy to understand, but it's very hard to put it working. So that's why we are sharing this with you, because we think that it's not only hiring consultancy companies or hiring companies that will develop solutions for you, but we believe really in internalizing and learning and creating teams, cross-functional teams that will work with that, as we have good jobs with makeup, perfumery, and etc. And Renato, if you want to share your learnings, then we will finish here.
Very quickly, so it's hard to hire and to build engineering teams, product teams. And then it's even harder to make them run autonomously, because we need to remove gatekeepers. We need to bring them tools and solutions so they can reduce the dependency between teams. But it works. So, for example, we have our e-commerce teams has more than a dozen squads working in different steps of the customer journey. And we get these feedbacks from each step, and we have different tools for that. And they can get improving that experience, and that leads to a better conversion rates, better tools, better marketing mechanisms for us to improve our e-commerce operation. So it's not only about having a platform, but making sure that it improves constantly. Another learning, it's very simple and powerful to build mechanisms that share customer feedback with the team that is working. So we don't need to have people bringing the feedback from the customers. We can have directly feedback from the customer to the team. And this one I already said a bit. So weekly post surveys and continuous employee feedback is a key factor for success. We're doing a lot of changes, and we need to know how the team is getting it for them, if they are enjoying what's not working well. I believe that's all.
Dermot, I hope we didn't get too long here. I think we could share much more time here with you, but we are just in time, so I'm sorry if we took some more minutes, and we are here to share with you and to answer any question that you need.
That's fine. No, thank you very much, Daniel and Renato. Look, a really good overview, I thought. just to take the conversation forward a little bit, perhaps a few questions specific to the market and the consumer in Brazil, and where your digital drive fits in with those. We mentioned just before we came on and broadcast, we were talking about the Brazilian market in particular, and the phenomenon of direct sales, which is such a huge one and a major channel in Brazil and for your group. Just maybe explain how you think this can help facilitate a move to online sales, and perhaps beyond that, a move even into social commerce. How are you thinking about evolving that direct sales model and using digital channels to advance it?
I'll start, Renato. If you want to keep with the answer, also feel free. Just what I believe is that resellers are already a way of social commerce, but in a non-digitalized way as they were in the past. So they have their own groups that they talk about. They form opinion. They lead some people with them. So there's this what we see, the phenomenon of making people around a theme and discussing this and helping them to solve any problem. This was already the way the direct sellers they used to work, but without any tools. So when you say about social selling, they already do this, but in a logical way. And I think our job here is to give them tools and to engage them in those tools to make this easier for them and also higher in terms of revenues, in terms of helping them to have their business. And of course, there's also another phenomenon about bloggers, about social influencers, and they are also part, and they should be part of this chain, and they should also have their own special space a special place to put their opinion and to help selling, as we see in China, for example. This is a very specific phenomenon of China that may be going to other countries, and we will embrace them if they come to Brazil also.
Yeah, just to go to a couple of the audience comments. First one of just asking if we can have a copy of your presentation. Yeah, just to remind people, we will be sending those, but also to remind people we have a 30-day, what we call encore timing after this, where people can log in and review presentations and on all of the content. So just a reminder on that to everyone out there. Another one just on the specifics of the presentation from Antonio Almeida. Question is about challenges. What do you believe is the biggest challenge of leading this kind of change and transformation in such a huge company like Boticário Group is?
Renato?
Yeah, so I'm going to start and I'll pass to Daniel. I believe it's to make sure that everyone is on board with the changes we are doing. So it's not easy. It happens all at the same time, and with the pandemic, it got even tougher, I believe. So making sure that everyone understands what we are doing and why we are doing is the biggest challenge, because I believe when you have the people on board with the same mission, doing those changes, and the change management itself is going to be a lot easier. But I'm going to move to Daniel. Let's see what he says.
I think besides what you said, it's easy to understand the concept that digital products are the same as traditional products, as cosmetics products, as makeup products, as perfumery. It's the same thing. We have to deliver the best that we have to our clients in experience, in store, in digital, or anywhere else. The concept is easy, but it's hard to do it, because people know what is a perfume, people know what is lipstick, but people don't know what is a code. It's something intangible. So how to explain them that a code is just as hard to do as it is a lipstick. It's not something that is written perfect and already done. It's not something that you buy. It's not a pre-done thing that you just put them all together. There is also learning. There is also something not binary as there is in general products. So people don't know the technical part, and this makes it very hard because people think it's mechanical, and it's not mechanical.
Just a couple of questions beyond that as well. One thing we've talked a lot about this week is the complementary nature of physical and the online, physical and digital selling and engagement. And I suppose just a question specific to one brand that you mentioned earlier, Beleza na Web, and how are you linking that online business with your store network, specifically the beauty box chain? How do those elements within the network complement each other?
Okay, just for you to know, we have already in the brand Boticário, I'll come back to Beleza na Web, but in brand Boticário, there are already 400 stores from our 3,700 stores that we have from this brand. 400 stores you can already buy online and pick up in store. And you can also buy in the store and then receive it in your house if you like, or separate. For example, there is one product in stock and the other product is not in stock. You can buy and we send you the missing part to your house. So we do this already in a big number of stores, 400 stores. So this is a lot already in Boticário. And in Beleza na Web, it is together with Beauty Box. They are today in the same business. They are two different names from the same operation. And you can already do this. We have 50 stores in Brazil. And you can do the same thing. So you can buy online and pick up store, and you can buy in store and receive at your house. So this is already working, the traditional omni-channel solution. We want to do much more. We want you to have the opportunity to when you go to the store. I want to know that you yesterday went to our website and you saw something and you didn't buy, but you wanted to know something more. Then I want to keep talking to you, not restart talking to you. So we want to do much more with making the client, make the customer seeing him or her as an only one person, not as multiply visits to our stores, to our channels.
Yeah, and a related question just on competition as well. A big driver in beauty in Brazil as elsewhere is the emergence of a lot more online options that people can buy through, and a big rise in the number of marketplaces out there, not just Amazon, but others too. And many of these offer big discounts to the consumer. And I guess with your digital platforms in mind, Beleza na Web and others, how can you defend Grupo Boticário's position with all of these competitors in mind?
Renato?
Yeah, so I believe our main difference is that we offer an experience that is exclusively for beauty products. So our navigation, you can browse better, our search is better for beauty products. So we offer an end-to-end experience that is better than the generalist marketplaces. And we have a huge selection of beauty products at Beleza na Web and Beauty Box. So we already offer that, and we are expanding our operation to bring and offer shorter delivery dates with less costs. So I see there's a big difference between these big marketplaces that are generalists from the work we are doing in our own operation.
And I suppose
to add something, I'm sorry.
You go ahead.
No, to add something about this, I think it's just comparable to what happens in offline operations. You can find cosmetics products in supermarkets and in general retailers, big retailers, but you also can find in specialized retailers, and you find different information and deep relationship with you. So I think it's the same, but online. I think people will find options both ways, even in the general or in hours, but there is a difference what you receive of information and attendance and everything.
Very good. I suppose just to sum up then, for you in the digital transformation teams there at the group, what would you say is the biggest priority or your number one item on your agenda for the rest of 2021 and into next year?
I can start and then I'll move to Danielle. But I believe the thing is there's no finish line, so we're gonna keep doing what we are doing forever. So our main objective for this year and for all of the other years is gonna be making sure that 4 points that I presented, especially the first one, make sure that we are taking decisions based on customers' need, and feedback is gonna be our main priority. Daniel?
I think people, we have a joke, an inside joke, that people say, when is going to end this? When are you going to finish this project? When the digital transformation is done? And we say there's no digital transformation. This is the new way to work, and there's no end. So we don't see that, we don't see it as a project, but as a way to do business and to have results right now. So we are already there. Just have to improve and accelerate, but we're already there.
Good. Well, look, we wish you well on that a never-ending journey in the future as well. Daniel and Renato, we thank you and the company also for your thoughtful input and contribution to this week's event. We're going to break now, but join us again at 16:30 CET for a session led by the NPD Group on digital data from around the world, the state of beauty e-commerce in Europe, the US and China. So Daniel and Renato, thanks again, and we'll see you all again soon.
Thank you.